Conspiracy theories, eh? Wait till you get a load of this.
Hello, and welcome to Cracked Sisters Conspiracies. We're a podcast that covers conspiracy theories, mysteries, and all over spooky shit. My name is Jackie.
And I'm Cassandra.
And we are said sisters.
Sorry, I'm just trying to fiddle with the blinds or curtains. They're called. That's the word. I have a new sound bar, though, so I can actually hear. It's amazing.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. Evan got one from his work for his birthday, so.
And it's attached to your computer?
Yeah. It's just a big sound bar.
I know what a sound bar is. I'm just saying, I've never seen it attached to a computer. I've only seen it attached to like a TV.
Yeah, no, there's one for the computer. Works wonderfully.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's new?
Nothing. We went camping last weekend. My biggest concern initially was the bears. And really, the bigger threat was the yellow jackets. So
yes, your child got stung.
We did. She had her first yellow jacket experience. We were riding our bikes in from town on our last full day. She had managed to make it through the whole trip without any catastrophes. And lo and behold, a yellow jacket flew into her helmet, got her right in the ear. And then, she dissolved into a puddle, and then her ear got really big. And
Poor
and then
thing.
it reminded me of my catastrophe story with yellow jackets at Lake Casitas. I got both bit and stung in the same trip. So it's kind of like a rite of passage for her.
I have never been stung by a yellow jacket.
Well, that's good.
Or bitten. So, what's to do with me? You didn't ask, but I will tell you. Someone tried to steal my identity.
What?
I got an email last night from US Bank saying, thank you for opening a checking account. I'm like, okay. So I opened the email just to check the domain and stuff. I'm like, oh, this seems like a legitimate domain. And the email seems pretty legitimate. And it had my name on it, my first name. So I, Googled if you ever get a suspicious email, don't click any of the links. Google the number for that bank or whatever. So I called the bank and I'm like, hey, someone I think just tried to open an account in my name. She's like, okay, can you verify your information? I'm like, well, no, I hate it. She made me tell her my name. And then she's like, well, I can't find you based on your name. I need your social.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully I trusted my source of getting the phone number. But I'm like, why would I want to give you my social security number, all of my personal information, if I think I'm being a victim of identity theft or identity fraud? So she pulled it up. She's like, okay, what's your name? So I said my maiden name, and she's like, yep, that's it. And then she goes, what's your address? And so I took a second because I'm like, which address do I want to say? So I said my current one. She's like, oh, it has a different address listed in Simi Valley. I'm like, is it this? And she goes, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I used to live there. So obviously the information they had is my old name and my old address.
Yeah.
I'm like, so what does someone need in order to open a bank account with you guys? She goes, oh, well, they did it online and they need a social security number, an address, a phone number, and an email. She goes, they seem to have all your information. She was very unfazed by it. She's like, oh, we stopped it. Oh, well. Okay, fuck. So that was fun.
You should freeze your credit.
They're already frozen. I froze them 6 months ago with the 3 big.
Okay.
There was a Chime, I think, account opened in my name. And a card with a debit card was issued.
Oh.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I got freaked out with that. And that was a long time ago. So I just froze everything because I don't plan on opening a new line of credit or anything anytime soon. So yeah, they're all frozen. So it's not like you're going to get credit cards or anything, but I found that annoying.
Okay.
And then I almost got into a fight with someone at Costco today.
Wow.
So I'm very tired. I have not been sleeping well for this past week. I've been sleeping in 2-hour increments and I keep getting woken up. So I'm very tired. So I had to go to Costco. And my drive there, I realized how tired I was. And so it just kind of put me in a funk, basically. So I'm walking around Costco. I just need 2 things. And one of them is eggs. So I go into the little refrigerated section and me and this other guy has a cart. And then this woman is walking without a cart. And we end up doing the back and forth thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not in a good mood. So I don't smile. I don't do anything. I just have my resting face. And then, so the person passes, I get my eggs, and I walk out and I see she's standing with a different girl, and they're like younger. And the friend decides to say, oh, you better watch where the fuck you're walking next time or something like that. I'm like, oh, I'm so fucking tired and so annoyed that I will fucking fight you. So I'm like, just go get my 2 other things that I need and get out of here. It was very traumatic. And then I forgot my Ziploc bag, so I'm very upset about that.
I would be too. Fun. I went and organized my garage earlier to make room for more Halloween decorations, and then we bought one at a Home Depot. So
What'd you buy?
I bought a big plague doctor statue. Because
that's fun.
Yeah. But now that we don't have the tree in our front yard anymore, we can take advantage of all the open space. So I'll have to fill that in.
That'll be fun.
I don't remember what your topic was, or did you tell me what your topic was?
I did tell you.
Okay, I don't remember.
So my topic is related directly to my health.
Okay.
No? Today we're talking about cancer.
Oh yeah, okay, that's right.
So I did get my results back. I got a call on Friday from my dermatologist, and she goes, it is a basal cell carcinoma, which is a type of skin cancer.
Yeah.
She goes, so we have to schedule you to get it surgically removed. And then she goes, also, you've never had a skin exam, so we're going to do a skin exam on you. I'm like, you just want to look at me naked, you fucking perv. It's a woman, but still. So I'm not looking forward to that. But no one called me to schedule this appointment. So.
Oh. But yeah, they're going to get like all up in every nook and cranny that you have between the cheeks, between the toes. Just prepare for that.
Have you had one?
No, but we were talking about this at work like a couple of weeks ago, and the few people who have had them so far said they are very thorough.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to tell us today about cancer?
So basically the topic today is there a cure for cancer? Is it something being held from us, or are we all just doomed? That's basically the synopsis of what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so these days, almost everyone has some sort of direct experience or exposure with cancer, whether they themselves have been diagnosed, family member, loved one, coworker, pet, whatever. Everyone at some point is going to have some sort of alliance with cancer.
Our family is riddled with it. So. And my last dog died of dog cancer. So.
Oh, shit. There you go.
And my cat.
Oh, your cat got eaten.
No, she didn't. She had cancer and crawled off to die.
Oh, never mind. So in the United States, approximately 39 to 42% of men and 39 to 40% of women are expected to develop some form of cancer within their lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Globally, this figure is closer to 1 in 5 people, so around 20%. What do you think the most common cancer is for men?
Skin cancer.
That's non-skin related, I should have said.
Prostate cancer.
Yes.
Okay.
So for men in the U.S., the biggest concern is prostate cancer with a 12.8% chance of getting it in their lifetime, and it affects 1 in 60 men.
Okay.
Now, what do you think the most common non-skin related cancer is for women?
Breast cancer.
You would be correct. Yes. For women, it's a 13.1% chance of getting it in their lifetime, and it affects 1 in 43 women. Globally, technically, the number 1 type of cancer for men is lung cancer, but U.S. specifically, it's prostate. And then globally, prostate is number 2. So it's still very high up there.
Okay.
Breast cancer is most frequently diagnosed in women, so 157 out of 185 countries globally. So breast cancer still is like top dog for women.
Sure. Lucky us.
So for whatever reason, God hates boobs and buttholes, and it's like we're gonna riddle it with cancer.
Yeah.
So what specifically makes men and women so susceptible to these specific types of cancers? I made a graph.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there's 4 risk factors, I guess. So 1 would be gender. So simply by being a man or simply by being a woman, you are automatically more susceptible to these 2 types of cancers. Getting older, which is just a fact of life unless you get cancer. So for men, chances of getting prostate cancer skyrocket once they hit 50.
Okay.
And 60% of prostate cancer occurs in men over the age of 65. And then most breast cancers are diagnosed in women over the age of 50, which is why you have to get your mammogram starting at like 40 or 45, something like that.
Unless you're me and you get one at 37. So.
But you're fine.
It still hurts and they don't know why.
I know. I just think of that episode of Weeds where she gets one and it's just squishing her tit.
It was the worst experience ever.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
At least you don't have cancer.
I don't know. I don't feel like the doctor did a very good job. He spoke
Oh.
for 38 seconds and then left. So.
Oh, that seems very quick. Was it a man or a woman?
Well, it was a woman tech, and then the doctor that came in to say, I don't see anything, was a man. So
Yeah, I don't trust that either.
Mm-hmm.
Another risk factor is family history. So for both men and women, having a first-degree relative, so that would be a mom and dad or a brother or sister. For women, it puts you at a higher risk of getting breast cancer if they have it. So does having the BRCA1 or BRCA2 gene.
Right, which we do not have,
Which we do not have. We were tested for it, which is
Yes.
surprising because we have a lot of breast cancer in our family.
We do.
And then for men, if you have a first-degree family member, it can more than double your chance of getting prostate cancer. And that chance multiplies if you have multiple people in your family who have it, not just first generation. And then last is race and ethnicity. So for prostate cancer, it is more common in Black men, and they usually get it at a much younger age than white men do.
Interesting.
And then white women, we rule in the breast cancer demographic. It is most likely going
to
dominate. Yeah, it's most likely going to affect us. But for Black women, it's usually more aggressive.
Oh, that sucks.
So the most common type of cancer worldwide, which you guessed, is non-melanoma skin cancer. So that being basal cell carcinoma or squamous cell carcinoma. In the U.S., it's estimated 5.4 million cases of basal and squamous cell skin cancers are diagnosed each year for about 3.3 million people, making it the most frequent form of cancer, specifically more than melanoma. So usually, if you're going to get skin cancer, it's going to be one of these two, which is not necessarily deadly, but it is still something that you need to get taken care of.
Sure.
About 8 out of these 10 are basal cell specifically, and then squamous cancers usually occur less often. So again, I have basal cell, so I'm very generic apparently for everybody.
Basic white bitch.
I know, right? If you are going to die from a basal or squamous cell, it's very unlikely. It's only about 2,000 to 8,000 people die each year, which seems like a lot unless you take into account the amount of people that are actually getting diagnosed with it.
Sure.
But usually the people who end up dying from it are older. They didn't, get it treated, or they didn't find it until it had progressed pretty significantly. Or they have some sort of suppressed immune system, like they have a HIV or something like that that's fighting it off, and it kind of makes them more susceptible to death of it. So basically, cancer is a very big deal in this world. Doctors and researchers have spent billions of dollars and doubled that amount of time in looking into preventatives and cures for cancer and all that kind of stuff. But since so much time and resource have gone to studying cancer, many people are convinced that there must be some cure out there or some treatment out there that we just don't have access to.
Okay.
So right off the bat, what are your personal feelings and beliefs about cancer? And is there a cure or is there treatment? What do you think?
Well, I think certain cancers, because not all cancers are the same.
Mm-hmm.
So my understanding is that there are treatments that have helped push cancer into remission for people and essentially consider themselves treated as long as it doesn't come back. So I think there are ways to tackle certain kinds of cancers, but I also know the timing of when cancers are discovered, the type, there's so many different variations and factors that go into it. So some you're just shit out of luck.
100%.
But
yeah, very good. I have found there's a couple different reasons why theorists believe that there's a cure for cancer or a treatment or something like that out there. So right off the bat, number one is Big Pharma.
Oh, yeah.
So Big Pharma is a term used to describe the world's largest and most influential pharmaceutical companies, known for their multinational operations, substantial revenue, and political sway. So some examples of Big Pharma would be Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Merck Company, and Bristol Myers.
Yep.
The number one issue people have with Big Pharma is the disparity between drug costs and accessibility for everybody, with reports showing companies making billions in profit while millions of people cannot afford medically necessary treatments and drugs.
And then added on top of that, the bullshit that is medical insurance that does nothing and is just an additional cost. It sucks to be here.
Yeah, just on Earth in general. Yeah, so Big Pharma technically could be its own entire episode. It was really hard not to get sucked down the Big Pharma rabbit hole as I was going through my notes. But today we're focusing specifically on cancer. So a survey published in April of 2024 reported that 27.3% of Americans believe that a cure for cancer is being deliberately hidden. And in 2014, a study found that 37% of Americans believe the FDA is intentionally suppressing natural cancer cures due to pressure from pharmaceutical companies.
I mean, I'm not entirely like disbelieving of that.
Yeah, no, I tend to be on that board a little bit for the most part. We go over it a little bit later. Cancer is a very expensive diagnosis. The cost of prostate cancer treatment varies significantly, but estimates suggest initial care is around $28,000 per person for the first year, and then continued care is about $2,600 annually. And then the cost of breast cancer treatment varies as well, and it can go anywhere from $20,000 to over $150,000, depending on the stage and the type. The initial 12-month cost alone can average around $60,000, not including out-of-pocket expenses. And costs can increase with later stages and those with metastatic breast cancer, which means it has spread to other parts of the body.
My goodness.
In 2019, people paid higher out-of-pocket costs for breast cancer rather than any other types of cancer that were found, and a total of $3.14 billion more.
Oh my God.
Which is interesting to me since breast cancer is the number one most common cancer for women. It's funny how that is actually the number one most expensive cancer to treat when you think it would be a little bit cheaper since everybody seems to be getting it.
Right.
Big Pharma refused to make life-saving medications accessible to people or cost-effective is not new. I don't know if you remember this because do you have an EpiPen?
I used to. I don't have a current one because they were too fucking expensive to get.
Yeah, so between 2007 and 2016, Mylan Pharmaceuticals acquired the exclusive U.S. rights to EpiPen and raised the list price for a 2-pack by over 500%. So it went from about $100 for a 2-pack to over $600 per prescription.
And that's when I bailed because I'm like, I can't afford this shit. So.
I got it right after, but thankfully I had good insurance at the time, and it was like $50, I think, which is still kind of a lot, but especially when you have to get it every 2 years.
Yeah, there's nothing a bottle of Benadryl can't cure for me. So
there you go. You're a little bit luckier. Yeah. When Mylan acquired the EpiPen in 2007, it had a virtual monopoly over the Epi auto-injection market. They were actually accused of colluding with the manufacturer Pfizer
to delay the
release of a generic competitor because they wanted to have all of the power, and you can only buy name brand versus having a generic option.
Right.
In 2015, Turing Pharmaceuticals brought Daraprim, or primethylamine. I'm not a pharmacist, guys. Don't come at me. They raised its price from $13.50 per tablet to $750 per tablet, more than a 5,000% increase.
Per tablet.
Per tablet. Yeah. And I don't know how many tablets are in a box or whatever. This specific drug is the standard treatment for life-threatening parasitic infection, toxoplasmosis, which is a major concern for people with HIV.
Oh, okay.
And then in 2013, Gilead Science launched a drug called Solvady at a price point of $1,000 per pill.
Ooh.
And it equated to an $84,000 cost for a full treatment course.
That's crazy.
That medication is used to treat hepatitis C, which you can most certainly die for if you do not get treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, there are many, many more examples, but I just chose to keep it brief because, again, this is not a Big Pharma specific episode. So if they are willing to fuck over sick people by making it nearly impossible for them to afford medication that they need to live, I 1,000% personally believe that they would do anything and everything in their power to hide a cure for cancer if there was one.
Yes.
So option number 2, or reason number 2, it kind of still ties in with Big Pharma, but it's that it's too profitable to cure. Because these people are so money hungry, they stand to make so much money with all of these different cancer treatments, cancer medications. It makes more sense from an economical standpoint for them to have people have to take treatment over months and years and years of their life versus a one-time cure, one-time treatment, and then they're done and they don't have to follow up.
Yeah, because everything is driven by earnings and revenue and paying out the shareholders and just continuing increase that stock price and all those things that come with it.
Exactly. So Big Pharma can make literally over $1 million for an extended period of treatment for cancer. There is one medication called Mylept, which costs on average $1.2 million annually.
Oh my gosh.
For a very lucrative type of cancer. But can you imagine how much people would pay for a one-time cancer cure guaranteed? Or they could even, if they wanted to spread it out a little bit, they could go, hey, do you never want to get breast cancer in your life? Cool. Go ahead and take this medication monthly, annually, whatever. And you are guaranteed that you will never get this type of cancer in your life.
But you're going to have to take that forever.
Yes, but I think they stand to make more money that way. Because who the fuck doesn't want to not get cancer?
It's the I don't want to die subscription service.
Exactly. So that's why I tend to believe, and like I said, we go over it a little bit later, but I tend to believe there is no hidden necessary cure or treatment for certain types of cancers, because I think they really could market it and get more money than they're getting now, even though it's exponential. So that's what it kind of like makes me not necessarily believe that too bad, but who knows? Number 3 is natural remedies versus patented remedies. That's a word I cannot say, apparently. 2 super common home remedies for cancer include cannabis oil and castor oil.
Oh, okay.
So people like to attribute cannabis oil to helping shrink cancerous tumors, and they even say it has a cure for certain diseases like diabetes, ulcers, arthritis, migraines, insomnia, infections, and many other diseases.
Okay.
There are commercially available cannabis compounds, which are FDA approved to reduce cancer treatment side effects. The 2 most common are dronabinol and nabiline. However, there are no clinical treatments for cancer having anything to do with cannabis or cannabis products.
Gotcha.
To conduct a clinical drug research with cannabis in the United States, researchers must file an investigational new drug application within the FDA. They need to obtain a Schedule I license from the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, or DEA.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to obtain approval from the National Institute on Drug Abuse. So it's like 3 steps. It doesn't sound too crazy. Yeah, it's kind of hoops that you have to jump through, but I don't think it's necessarily impossible.
Sure.
Except for the fact that the FDA refuses to approve the use of cannabis or cannabis products to treat any illness out there ever.
Is that because of its classification level, or?
That's what they want you to think. So technically, cannabis is legal in 40 of the 50 U.S. states, even though it is still illegal federally.
So, because they're all in collusion with the government.
Because if something could cure cancer, cure diseases that are very costly, we got to make it illegal. We got to criminalize the people that use this product so that way they don't accidentally cure a disease. Very good.
Right.
Castor oil has been promoted specifically on social media as having the ability to cure cancer, specifically breast cancer, with topical applications. So rubbing it on your titties will make your breast cancer go away.
Oh, okay. So maybe I'll just start doing that.
There is no clinical evidence from studies in humans that prove that castor oil can treat or cure breast cancer, but there have been laboratory and animal studies that have some pretty significant findings.
Okay.
So in these studies, they have found that extract from the castor plant fruit can induce cytotoxicity and apoptosis, which is a fancy term for programmed cell death of cancer cells. So it has been proven to kill off cancer cells. In one study using a mouse, castor fruit extract significantly reduced the size of a tumor. And then the same fruit extract was found to inhibit the migration and invasion of breast cancer cells, which are key process to how the cancer spreads throughout the rest of the body. So these studies have been done under very specific circumstances, and again, only with mice. They've never been done on humans. But I would say if you are finding these results, usually these types of trials, they always start on animals, mice, whatever. And then if they start to get positive results, they instantly jump into human trials because it's something that they want to expand. But for some reason, they refuse to expand. They refuse to do human trials, at least to our knowledge. Obviously, people can be doing it on the side, but they don't want that generally out there for whatever reason. And now we're going to slightly veer away from cancer, even though this is a cancer episode. We're going to talk about a example of someone who was cured by something in a non-conventional way. Have you ever heard of Ellie Lobel?
I don't think so. Is that a person, place, or thing?
It's a person.
Oh, okay.
Her name is Ellie.
No.
So in 1996, when she was 27 years old, She was, unbeknownst to her, bit by a tick, which I think are put out there by Bill Gates in order to give everyone Lyme disease. She went to multiple doctors. Every doctor she went to, they gave her a different diagnoses. They said, oh, you have MS, you have rheumatoid arthritis, you have any other disease, because it wasn't necessarily as popular as it is nowadays in order to be diagnosed with Lyme disease. So she's going through all these treatments, all this stuff. It took roughly 15 years for her to get diagnosed with Lyme disease.
Holy shit.
And then at that point, she's like, I'm fucking over this. She goes, I can barely move. I can't really walk. My quality of life has diminished so much that she's like, I'm going to die of this. I want to go die in California. So she moved to California and she's like, this is where I'm going to die. She had a caretaker and that was basically her plan for life.
Okay.
1 week after moving to California, she was really depressed, obviously. If you know you're going to die or suspect you're going to die, you might be a little depressed. She went outside with her caregiver. She's like, I just need to touch some grass. I need to get some sun on my face. So her and the caregiver went outside. They stood under a tree. And then Ellie felt something hit her head.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was swarmed by bees.
Oh.
The caretaker fucking beat feet and left. She was so weak, she wasn't able to run or really walk. So she just stood there.
She left her like Thomas J just to like succumb to the bees. Did she have glasses? Did she need her glasses?
I don't know. Someone was calling her name or something. I don't know. I would do the same thing. I would not stand there. I would try to take her with me, but I would leave as well. Not only was Ellie being swarmed by bees, they were killer African bees.
Could they smell something off with her?
Maybe. I don't know why they're called that. I think it's because they kill you. But maybe they're like, I think their hive just fell. And then it made her, that's what hit her in the head. And then they were angry. That's why.
So wrong place, wrong time.
I don't think they smelled the lupus on her.
Oh, okay.
While Ellie was standing there, she said, quote, they were in my hair, in my head. All I heard was the crazy buzzing in my ears. I thought, wow, this is it. I'm just going to die right here, end quote. Ellie was especially panicked because when she was 2 years old, she was stung by a normal bee and had such a severe reaction. She went into full-blown anaphylaxis, technically clinically died. She had to get defibrillated and brought back to life. So her mom drilled it in her as a young child, stay away from bees, you're deathly allergic to bees.
Okay.
Ellie was stung over 20 times, and finally, the bees just left her alone. They had had enough, and then they finally went off. When that happened, when it was safe, the caregiver came back.
Oh, so she didn't like completely bounce.
No, she just went to safety.
And to watch her struggle from a distance.
When she came back, she went, oh my God, that was crazy. Let's go to the hospital. And Ellie said, no. She goes, I'm going to die anyway. That's why I'm here. Now I'm definitely going to die. I'm going to lock myself in my room. You can come pick up my body tomorrow. Like, she was so over life at that point, this poor fucking lady.
I know.
So she went upstairs, she locked herself in the room, and the next day, she's still alive. They keep checking on her. Months have passed. She's still alive. Finally, after about 4 months, she goes to the doctor, and she's like, why aren't I fucking dead yet? They ran some tests. She goes, I'm actually feeling a lot better. Like, can you help me figure out what was happening? After all the tests, they didn't find anything. She had no more side effects of Lyme disease, and she was basically cured.
Was it the bees?
Yeah. So basically, these killer African bees, they have venom in them, which they sting with, obviously. And it is believed that the venom somehow responded with whether it was the lupus or just something in her body, and it actually cured that specific ailment that she was suffering from.
Interesting.
Various animal venoms have been shown to fight cancer, kill bacteria, and even serve as potent painkillers. Though, as I mentioned earlier, they've only gone as far as animal testing. Again, they refuse to do it on humans.
Right.
In Chinese traditional medicine, scorpion venom is recognized as a powerful medicine used to treat everything from eczema to epilepsy. They're usually a little bit more holistic in their treatments, so it's not so crazy for them. It would be crazy for us if you tried to inject me with the scorpion.
Yes, please don't.
So again, with this incredible story out there, why wouldn't they be jumping on the chance to test this out?
Yeah.
If I had some autoimmune disease that there is no cure for, I'd be like, shit, especially if you're depressed enough that you think you're going to die anyway.
Let's try it. Yeah.
And I told Alex this, I'm like, I would go outside and get stung by 20-something bees. He's like, no, they would just extract the venom and then inject you one time. I'm like, that is so much smarter.
Yeah. It would be in a controlled manner. Yeah.
Thinking about this, it kind of got me thinking like, that's so interesting that this story was widely known out there, because starting in the late 90s, the bee population started to plummet.
Yes, save the bees.
Yes, it plummeted by 87%.
Oh,
And bees are now considered an endangered species,
yeah.
which is very interesting because if it's a potential cure for autoimmune diseases and other diseases flying around outside, again, that takes away money from Big Pharma. So instead of actually dealing with it, trying to, I guess, profit off it or use it, they decide we're going to kill all the bees. That way you don't have that option anymore.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
they're terrible.
I know. So in conclusion, I never know how to like wrap this up
I know.
without resorting to high school. I do not believe there is one single cure or one single treatment for cancer because it's impossible. As you mentioned, cancer is not a single disease. It is a collection of over 200 different types, each with unique characteristics and each needing a different treatment plan. Cancer cells are constantly evolving and adapting to different treatments, making it difficult. Even if you do find a treatment, it just kind of becomes immune to it. And then we still have so much to learn about the underlying mechanisms of cancer and the development and its progression. So while I don't believe that there is a hidden secretive cure out there, I 10 toes down believe that there are proven treatments or cures to different diseases, maybe individualized types of cancer that Big Pharma specifically does not want us to know. They work with the FDA, they work with all these government entities in order to make it impossible to get. They don't want to share the monopoly that they have on these treatments, and they would rather fill their big fat greedy pockets with money than help out people that are literally dying of stuff that technically could be cured. So, up them. And that's what I think.
I agree wholeheartedly. And considering our family history, that's why I have separate cancer insurance, because I know that shit's going to come get me. So.
I have heard of that.
Yeah.
If I had good, I don't know if my insurance has that. I would assume not, but who knows?
Mine's a separate policy through Aflac. So.
Oh, I do love Aflac.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's like a really depressing topic.
Right? What a chipper episode.
But the next time we record, I will be seeing you because you're going to be here for my birthday. So that'll be, and it'll be time for Killers Quarterly then. Do you have any idea who you're going to use for your topic?
I think so. I haven't actually deep dived into this individual yet, so I'm not sure if I'm going to. Do you know who?
No, I don't. So that's something I'll need to think about over the next couple of weeks. But
and then you'll have to do like a double episode as I'm doing now, where you do a normal episode and then Killers Quarterly. You'll have to do Killers Quarterly and then a normal episode.
Yeah, so I don't know what my next topic is going to be either. I have a lot of pondering to do. So in the meantime, always looking for suggestions. You can reach out to us on our various social media platforms. You can send us a good old-fashioned email at cracksistersconspiracies.com or at gmail.com. That was wrong. I don't know. You can find it if you tried hard enough.
That's true.
But with that, I'm going to say stay cracked, y'all.
And have a great day.